All right. So a little bit of participation here. Whoever has been called a name, just a raise of hands. Ever in your life been called a name? Okay, all of you. Now, who here has ever called somebody a name? Welcome to bullying. Each one of you guys have been bullied and have been a bully. You are a part of a great injustice that's actually growing in our beautiful country right now. My name's Robert Kopic, and I was a bully and had been bullied. When I was in high school, I actually got pushed into a locker and locked in it, unfortunately. And I also did a little bit of bullying because of the results of that. I had, pretty bad home life, and which I was being bullied there. So I'd turn around and I'd do some bullying at school to the smaller people than me, which is kind of crazy to find somebody smaller than 4'11" in high school. But as you can see, bullying is a bad injustice. It's growing in our country rapidly. Kids are bringing guns to school at an alarming rate. Kids are stopping going to school altogether because of bullying. They're terrified. It's touching home at every single house. And as you can see, all of you know what it's like. Some of the effects of bullying are loss of sleep, depression, health problems, school grades dropping, sadness, anger, anxiety, and actual physical sickness. The crazy thing is that bullying leads to suicide. And suicide's growing at an alarming rate. Approximately 11 people die today because of suicide, and all of them are under the age of 25. For every attempt that was actually successful in suicide, 50 to 200 more attempts were taken. So that leads to a death every 2 hours for somebody that's under the age of 25, which a lot of this comes from the effects of bullying and things that are happening at school. So as we can see here, pull this up, 4,400 bully-related deaths happen every year. And 77% of students actually said that they have been bullied, either mentally, verbally, or even physically. And the crazy thing is it's actually growing physically. The amount of fights in schools is growing way past anybody had anticipated in the last 5 years. A recent study also said that 87% of kids said that shootings were motivated by retaliation from bullying. And that's crazy because we can see just in the last 10 years the amount of school shootings and bombings and bomb threats that have happened. I personally, when I was in school, remember bomb threats, whether they were just kids trying to get out of school or an actual attempt on the school. I don't know if you guys ever had to deal with that. But I'm here to offer a solution to all this, and it's God's love. We start with home relationships. A lot of bullying happens because of bad relationships at home. Irritation with parents not understanding their kids or listening to their kids. Step-parents, in my case it was a stepfather. He unfortunately was bullied as he was growing up, and that led to him bullying me as I was growing up. In the Bible, we hear about Paul. Paul was originally named Saul, and he did a lot of bullying in the New Testament. If you read through it, he actually was one of the people that killed the first Christian martyr. His name was Stephen, and he was killed at the hand of Paul, not physically hand, but he was led to his death because of Paul looking after him and finding him and killing him. And the crazy thing is, through God's love, Paul changed who he was. And because of that, he wrote 1/3 of the New Testament. And if you look out at how much the Bible has actually reached out to people and the great things that it has done, Paul had a good hand in doing that with writing 1/3 of the New Testament. So we can see God's love is a good thing and can reach out to people. In Romans 8, it says, in all things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. So we can see that we can conquer anything if we just believe in love. So as we can see, bullying destroys. It can actually lead to death. And I'd like to have you guys join me in fighting against it using God's love. And I just wanted to tell you guys that in the last 1 minute it took to give this speech, it was actually an attempt, a suicide attempt. just in the last 4 minutes by somebody under the age of 25. So, will you guys join me in this?